Okay, back with you on the Bronx Buzz. I am just thrilled because he's my buddy. He's a friend. He's a performer extraordinaire. I asked him, how does he describe himself? He says, I don't know. He does everything. He sings, he dances, he acts, he advocates, he does his thing. Ladies and gentlemen, the great Tym Moss. Nice to have you with us, buddy.
Oh my gosh. Hi, Gary Axelbank. I adore you.
All right, well, feelings mutual. And the reason is because I love people who are who they are and they want to be that and more.
Yeah.
Just talk to me about your development as a performer because as I said, you sing, you act. Every time I look up, he's got his arm around somebody on Broadway. He's off Broadway. He's out there in Idaho somewhere, or he's in Indiana, or he's like, oh, I'm at the greatest place in Florida. And I'm like, wait a minute, Tim, it's only 24 hours in a day. So just tell me about you and your energy and what you try to do when you wake up in the morning.
Oh my goodness. Well, that's a whole long sorted story. But firstly, thank you for having me on.
Of
And
course.
again, I felt like it was like 70 degrees here in New York today, so I thought I'll break out the gold lame today.
There you go.
But as far as my energy, it's a kind of a long story. But I'm just so grateful for every day to just wake up and be alive and be able to do what I want, and that kind of gives me the push and the energy to kind of get up and get moving and get going. But I am, like you said, I've had a busy year.
Yeah,
I've been from
we're Facebook friends, and I follow
uh,
you, and I'm like, wait a minute, wasn't yesterday he did a Broadway thing, and now he's talking about like he's in South Florida. Um, your calendar must be amazing. I mean, do you keep
yeah.
track of it, or it's like somebody calls you and you say, all right, good, I'll do that, because you're in a different production every day. It takes me 2 days to put this show together, you know?
Yeah.
How do you do all that stuff? And they're all different.
Well,
I want to get in there. I want to figure this out.
luckily, the universe just kind of conspires and helps me out because I will get offers and somehow, some way, they all seem to fit in perfectly. Like today, I'm doing this right now. Then I have to go downtown because I have three rehearsals for short plays and then a party after that.
For three
That
different plays.
Yes, three different shows that I'm doing throughout the month of October.
Sometimes when you do what I do, you worry that you're exaggerating or you're kind of blowing something up that should be. But here it is. This is a perfect example. You're going to do three different rehearsals, and then you go, of course, go into a party. I mean, it wouldn't be, Tuesday night, or what are we, Tuesday? Yeah, it wouldn't be
Exactly.
Tuesday night if you didn't find. Um,
But
and
but a few weeks ago, I was doing three different shows on the road. One weekend we were in Rhode Island and Massachusetts doing Lube, which is a parody of Grease. Lube,
oh,
very nice.
that's cute. Very nice.
And then the following weekend we were in Boise, Idaho, with a stopover in Vegas, doing 50 Shades of Gay. And then the following week I was in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, doing my one-man cabaret show. And that was just, I
Well,
literally would wake up in the morning and I'm like, I don't know what state I'm in. I don't know what show I'm doing today. Am I a singer? Am I an actor? If I'm an
you,
actor,
you're, li-
good
you're
guy.
like the
Thank God for Google Calendar.
Yeah, you're like the Rolling Stones. It doesn't matter what city. We just go in.
Just
Where are
do
we?
it.
Cleveland. Hello, Cleveland. I was in Spinal Tap. They were like, "Hello, Cleveland." Um, but really, from a realistic point of view, I mean, it takes me days to make sure that I've got the right script. I think of the right
Mhm.
questions and all that for what I do. How do you keep track? Is your mind that fertile, frankly, that you can remember scripts and you could do all that stuff?
Yes.
Maybe there's no answer. I don't know.
Yesterday, believe it or not, I just got back from Scranton where I was doing a full play called a musical called Little House on the Ferry. I've done that show many times in the past, so that one was just kind of a refresher. But a
Wow.
lot of the shows that I do are short plays or short performances, like a variety show.
Mhm.
Like this Friday, I'm doing 50 Shades of Gay. I just have to show up, sing a couple songs, and do some audience participation, and that's it. So
You are just the best. I mean, now I want to ask kind of the political thing. So, 50
sure.
Shades of Gay is obviously a take on 50 Shades of Gray.
Hmm.
Just
It
talk
is.
about your advocacy. Is the advocacy something that you actively say, I'm advocating for something, or is it more, this is what I do, so take what you want? kind of thing? You know what I mean? Is there a political angle to your intention, or is it just, look, this is who I am, this is what we do, I do it.
It's a combination of the two. Like, yeah, I'm just kind of like, look, I'm going to be who I am. If I have to fight for it, I will fight for it. But and we've had to do, unfortunately, a lot of fighting over the past several years. But
I'm aware of that. We're all aware of that.
yeah, again, like, okay, Boise, Idaho, that's a perfect example. My friend Ikevelli, who his show is 50 Shades of Gay. It's his show. He had called me and said, "Oh, we're going to be doing Boise, Idaho wants this," and I was like, "Are you kidding?" My first words out of my mouth was, "If I go out there and get drugged behind a pickup truck, I'm going to be pissed."
Yeah, so will
And
I.
then 2 weeks later, there was that militia group that got pulled over in a U-Haul that were on their way to an LGBT rally, or onto a pride, and
Mhm.
they were all going to disrupt it. And that was in Idaho. I picked up the phone and I called him up and I just said, "I hate when I'm right."
Ah,
And he
yeah,
goes, "You want to cancel?" And I said, "Hell no." I said, "That
wow.
we have got to go to represent what I don't know what we're going to walk into, but that's our job. Our job is to
And
go and be ourselves." And fortunately, Boise, Idaho, I was pleasantly surprised, is very LGBT friendly, very artistic, it
excellent.
was amazing. It was great.
I'm thrilled to hear that, and, of course, there's fear and there's all this other stuff,
Mhm.
but the fact is, if you were to not go, then in a way you will have lost the you'll have
Bingo.
conceded the war, so to speak,
Yeah.
and I hate to use these terms because I know that's so unlike what you're thinking about. It's always fun, and it's always happy, and it's always with love, and it's always with music. I
Yeah.
mean, that's what you do. I wanna, we're gonna talk specifically about some dates that are coming up.
Sure.
You've already mentioned a few of them, but I wanna go back a little bit. I remember I guess a couple of years ago, on this program, we talked about the movie Junk,
Oh,
and you
gosh.
created Junk. We're gonna show a little clip. Just talk to me about, because that was a very important production for you, and it was beautifully
Absolutely.
done. Explain what it was, and give us a little intro when we show the clip.
Junk is, you want me to tell you now, or
Yes, right now.
okay. All right. Well, Junk
Not
is
next week, right now. Ahora, right now.
Junk is a full-length feature film. It's a musical. It was written by the brilliant Michael Penny. Um, it was done with a skeleton crew. I flew down there, and there was 7 of us
Down where?
in North Carolina is where we shot it, just
Okay.
outside Durham. And there was 7 of us. There was 5 on the crew and only 2 in the cast. My co-star Robbie Wayne and I. And we made this entire motion picture, all of us joining together and helping out in any way, shape, or form. It was the most amazing, creative and artistic experience of my life. Um,
Really? And I have to say that's saying something, because of course he's got 3 rehearsals
yeah,
tonight, right.
but it's about an older gay man and a younger gay man that go in to clean out the house of a recently deceased man who lived like a hermit out in the woods. And we piece
Oh,
his life together based on his possessions, but there's an intergenerational gap. Like, my character, the older character, is constantly saying, "You know what the problem with your generation is?"
ah.
And talking about how times have changed,
You
and
see,
nothing is like sacred anymore.
you're tapping into my culture because you sounded like an old Jewish lady.
Yeah,
Uh,
boy,
all right, so let's let our buddy Anderson, cue it up, and let's take a look at just a little
sure,
clip. And then we'll talk afterwards where people can
perfect.
find it, where you can see it. Oh, wait,
Mhm.
Junk, Tim Moss.
Oh, I've got a mother who is wondrous wise. Thinks if she's a that I'll stop liking guys. Oh, she's crazy that way. Have you never thought about what you're going to have when your impoverished store of looks are all used up?
All right, just a clip, but it's a full length film,
Yes. Yeah.
and how can people see it?
Well, actually, what had happened was we had the New York City premiere, and it was big and it was wonderful and it was just getting up off the ground. 2 months later, the pandemic hit and it
Oh,
fell flat. So right now we're picking it back up and trying to get it back out there again.
Okay,
In
so people
actuality,
can't see it just yet?
well, it's going to be on UBC TV,
Okay.
and on their pay-per-view, which will also be picked up by Gloot TV, which is kind of like a Peacock or a Tubi, one of those. So
I wonder if we can get it on Bronx Nets at some point. That would be interesting.
that would be wonderful. I
Yeah,
would
yeah.
love to have
We
that.
have
We
our
do
Film
it after.
Wednesdays show. Yeah, you
Oh,
never know.
I would love that.
Anyway, so let's see. 50 Shades of Gay. I see Saturday the 14th at the
No,
Copacabana.
Friday the 14th.
Friday the 14th at the
Yep.
Copacabana.
Yeah.
Okay. And let's see. It's Complicated is coming up as well. What is that?
Oh, it's complicated. Julia Genevieve has a series of plays, and they're doing 5 short plays in one evening. And that's at the end of the month at the Producers Club, I think the 28th, 29th, and 30th of October. And it's kind of Halloween-y themed. And I'm in 2 of those shorts. Actually, that's 2 of the plays that I have to rehearse tonight. 2
You
of the
better
3.
do a good job.
Yeah.
Are there types of things that you like best, or doesn't matter as long as it fits into, kind of the genre that you're interested in? You like musicals best? You like serious stuff best? You like
Oh,
funny stuff? Like what, or it doesn't matter? I mean, I'm
I
willing to guess. Doesn't matter. You just want to do it.
exactly. But the thing is I have to feel it. I have you mean for a role that I'm taking?
Yeah, when you're in something,
Yeah, yeah, I have to be able to feel it. It has to. I've turned stuff down because I'm just like, I don't. It doesn't. I
turn
don't feel it.
stuff down. I
Yeah.
would hate I would hate to be somebody who got something turned down by Tim Moss,
No.
who does everything. That would be the worst thing that ever happened to me. Anyway, listen, Tim, anything else you want to promote or let us know what you're
Well,
working on?
just
It's just always a pleasure to have you. The energy is
I.
what we want.
Oh, I adore you. But I would recommend everybody out there to follow me. It's Tim Moss Moss on all social media. It's
Yeah.
just look me up, search me, and you'll find me. And on there, I will be announcing about where junk can be seen and where it can be found and all of that.
And
Gary, thank you so
yeah,
much for
and
all you
and the
do
other
for
thing
Bronx.
is if you really follow him on like on Facebook or any of the others, Tim is like, oh, hey, look who I'm with. Oh, look who I'm with. He's with everybody. You have a beautiful day. Have a good night. Work hard, but have a lot of fun. And we'll see you around town. Thank you so
I
much. The
see.
great Tim Moss, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Gary. Always a pleasure.
Great. So that will do it for the Bronx Buzz. We do
Thank
fun
you.
and we do serious. We did congestion pricing. We're going to do that next week. And this evening, before we had Tim, we talked about some of the most serious issues in the Bronx. That's because we're buzzing. It's the Bronx Buzz, and we'll see you next week. Good night.